Alright, we're gonna go shoot some flowers, which is not something I normally do, but I want it out of the house, so that's what we're doing today. But I thought it would be a good opportunity to shoot with the stuff that was donated to me. So this thing says it's a macro, and then we've got, what do we have here? An extension tube. I know that helps with macro. And we've got a attachment for high definition macro fisheye, and then we've got these things, which I actually have never used, so that's what I figured we'd do today, is go find out what the hell these things can do. So basically I'm going on a hike and taking camera gear with me, but I thought I might as well try the experimental gear. So let's go see if they're let's go see what the hell they are, I guess. Like I said, I'm basically hiking with cameras, but I don't know. There's a lot of flowers out, so we're gonna head uphill and then south. And I know there's kind of a flower area up by this old mine, so it's colder than I thought it would be. So I haven't made it very far, but they're kind of like these yellow flowers. I haven't really seen them anywhere else, so I guess this will be the first thing we shoot. So this is what at 55 millimeters with the fisheye on. So if I zoom out to 18, it's a very different look. 18 actually I think is a little too much, but if you go into like, what is that, 24, you actually get a pretty interesting look out of it. And the sun just came out and kind of ruined my exposure. We might be able to get a little more sun out of it. Not used to shooting in manual focus, so that's kind of making me take a little longer. Okay, so that was a cool first stop. It was funny, I couldn't figure out why that butterfly wasn't flying away, and I thought, well, if he's not going to care that I'm here, I'll get a shot of him. I took a couple photos, and then all of a sudden it turned around and a spider was eating him. So I'm really hoping one of those photos turned out, because that was a pretty cool thing to see, especially on the first plant I stopped on. But so that was with the Opteka macro fisheye lens. So I don't know how the quality is, obviously. I'm only looking at the back of the camera. It looks okay. It looks okay from here. The problem I'm having is can't use autofocus, which is just kind of a pain in the butt. Kind of messes with the exposure. I think everything was really dark, so I stepped it up, and then everything was way too bright, so I stepped it back down. And honestly, like, the clouds are coming in and out, so I can't really tell if that's the glass or that's just me. But basically I'm gonna have to shoot in manual and just kind of be willing to take my time, which is not always my kind of photography, but we'll do it. Also, I do this when I'm on camera, and I don't know why. So I'm going to be working at not doing that, because it's weird. So this thing's definitely interesting. I think I've actually got some good shots, but I'm nervous to say I got something good because I don't have it on the computer, so I can't really tell the quality is, but it's definitely got me a little nervous. But here, I want to show you something that's kind of crazy. Let me try to find something. Let me find something to show this. Okay, this should work. So here's the funny thing. Normally with macro you can focus like right up to the glass, and you can definitely do that with this. In fact, let me sit down. You can actually put things on the glass and have it focus. See if I can get this to work. So you hear that? That means it's focused, and then I take the shot. So let's see how that looks. Not bad actually, you can see my head in it. So let's do one more where you don't see my face. I'm getting the lens really dirty right now. Okay, ready? Okay, head back. Still have my freaking, that tells you how wide angle it is, that my head is still in the shot from that far back. So let's try it one more time. Way back. There we go. So that's kind of cool. If the quality is still pretty good at that, that opens a kind of interesting world with like textures and leaves and stuff. But I've shot a couple of plants with this now, with the Uptucka fisheye. I'm actually starting to like the fisheye. I might keep that on just for the fisheye capabilities, because it's not on. That's what it's not. Damn it. They say it's the fisheye part. It's kind of a novelty, but it's still kind of cool. I actually am liking it. But I've shot a couple plants with this, so I think we're gonna switch to the other kind, which has got me a little worried because this little thing is a pain in the ass, and those other two are quite a bit bigger, so we're gonna have to see. I think user error is going to start becoming a problem. All right, we found a little break from the wind, so we're gonna switch from fisheye to one of those. So we've got, what do we have here? Macro, and we have, it just says 2.5 times. So, oh, telephoto, interesting. Okay, that's interesting. I did not realize it was telephoto. Let's stick with macro for the time being, I think. So, that is kind of big. That's a bit much. Okay, so that's the macro lens I just attached. So at 18 you can definitely see the ring around it. And then let's see what 55 looks like. Pretty normal, but the quality's got me a little worried. So I've decided to be a little less stupid and get the hell off the road, because for some reason I was walking on the road the whole way, which doesn't grow a lot of frickin' flowers. So I came up kind of almost to the ridge, but not quite, and that seems to be where I'm seeing the most colors and flowers. So some pretty cool stuff actually. Okay, so the wind and the rain have taken a bit of a break, and I've kind of reached an area that's doesn't really have a lot of flowers or really anything interesting that's small. So I'm gonna switch to the 2.5 telephoto, which I'm putting on my 55mm, which would be 100 and something, which seems pointless. So very interestingly, that's what it looks like at 18mm, and then that's what it looks like at 55mm. So not feeling great about this one. So I'm not one to admit that I'm baffled very easily, but this 2.5 telephoto lens attachment thingy, I'm momentarily baffled, that's what I'll say, because I don't know what the hell it's for. The image quality is horrendous. I've been, with the other two I was worried that it wouldn't look as good on the computer as it looked in the camera. With this one, I'm just worried about how bad it looks in the camera. And I want to say that it could be used artistically, like a lens baby, you know, intentionally kind of altering the image. But there's no control. It's just blurry and the colors are weird. And I don't have a use for it. I know it's a 2.5 telephoto, so I'm thinking maybe the 55mm isn't what it's really meant to be on. Maybe it's supposed to be on a long lens. So I'm gonna try it on the 300, which I can't attach it to. I'm just gonna hold it in front of it. But I can't imagine that would be any better. But I at the moment, you couldn't get much worse. Okay, so for the moment, I'm gonna give up on that 2x thing because I can't figure it out at the moment. So now I'm gonna put the Tamron on, and you're probably saying, that's not experimental, that's just an inexpensive Tamron. And you're right. So that's why I'm gonna put an extender tube on it, which should take us back into the macro world, which we left for that 2.5 thing that I don't understand yet. I'm gonna play with it more, just because at the moment I can't tell if the quality is just garbage or I don't understand the point of it, and it's so bad right now I have to assume that it's the point of it. So if you don't know what an extender tube is, I guess I should explain. It's literally there's nothing in there, there's no glass. It's just making the lens farther away from the camera body, like physically farther away. And autofocus doesn't work on this one. I think it's the less expensive. So that's it right there. And that should let me focus. Well, maybe not at all. That's strange. Huh. Okay, there it is. Okay, so I made a mistake by putting the extension tube on the Tamron first before I really learned the lens, because extension tubes sort of make it difficult to know where your focus is. It's definitely meant for not moving very quickly. You know, it's meant for a tripod or at least something. But since I don't know the lens and I'm moving, I'm having a lot of trouble just even knowing how far away to stand and things like that. So for the time being, I'm going to take the tube off, photograph without it for a little bit, which will be nice. I can see the I'll see how the Tamron photos are looking, and I'll learn it a little bit. And then I'll go back to the extension tube after I learn it a little bit and hopefully get some better results. So this area is just absolutely thick with flowers and onions and some animals, so I think I'm going to stop, take a break, and see if the lighting gets a little better and what I want to shoot. Alright, so I switched to the 18-55 on the T1i just because I'm kind of hanging out and walking around, and I don't really want to have to go through the fiddle-faddle of dealing with all the other lenses. So for the time being, I've just switched to what I know, and just kind of, like I said, I'm just gonna walk around, see what strikes me as a nice image for when the sun starts to set a little bit. So as much as I'm enjoying kind of exploring this area, I think it's time to head out. I kind of checked out all the rock shelters and saw the flowers, and I think honestly I'll come back with my big lenses and the bigger cameras and like actually shoot this probably tomorrow or something. So I'm actually gonna stop filming right now, or pretty soon, because that's got me a little nervous. I hear gunfire all the time, but not from that direction, and that direction is a major roadway, houses, the town of Virginia City. So I'm just gonna play it safe and stay on the road and just kind of head back. Cause like I said, there are guys target shooting down the canyon too, but I know where they are, I know what they're doing. But it's really, really bizarre to hear gunfire from that direction. So realistically, I'm just gonna head back and hopefully not run into anybody.